My name is Michèle Schaal, and I'm an associate professor of French and Women's and Gender Studies at ISU. And I started working with the university museums the very first semester I started my job here, and that was in fall of 2012. And knowing that, ISU had museums was really a major perk of working here, because I knew early on that I wanted to integrate the museums in my teaching. Because what I realized being a teacher, especially in the USA, is that sometimes students didn't feel confident going, especially to big museums, for instance, the MoMA in New York, or all, the very famous museums around the USA, because sometimes they mistakenly believed that it was not for them. And so I thought that, starting with the university museums, it was a good way to show the students that the museums are for everyone. So a smaller museum is less intimidating. So I thought it would be a nice first step into the art world and showing that, art is truly for everyone. So the way I utilize the university museums in my classes, and I did so starting in fall 2012, was to actually take my classes to whatever exhibit was going on at the Christian Petersen Museum. The reason is also practical, it's a walking distance from all major buildings on campus. And so that didn't, take too much time out of students, needing to walk from one class to the next. But on occasions, we also went to the Brunier museums, or if it made sense, occasionally the museums also brought some items to the classes themselves. So that was the case, for example, when I taught for the Department of English, a class on multicultural women writers. So this is when the museums brought the items to class. But otherwise, we always went to the Christian Petersen Museum, and like I said, occasionally to the Brunier. I would say, though, that the most interesting activity I had with the museums was for my French 302 class, which is reading and writing in French. So the final exam is actually at the museums, and it's called in French, Le Musée est à moi, or the museum is mine. And so what happened is that early on in the semester, students would choose as a group one French art piece from the university collections, and at the end of the semester, they had a mock exhibit. And actually, it was great. It was both Adrienne Jeanette and Nancy Gebhard who took care of, really setting up the different objects, like in a museum. And then, one group after the next went and just presented in French the artifacts or the objects they had chosen. So, of course, most students went for the Rodin sculpture that you have, but plenty of other things too, like Tiffany's that was inspired by the French Art Nouveau. And also we had Le Lalique, bottles and sculptures. So it's been pretty successful. Oh yeah, and the tapestry, Le Pardon, forgiveness, has also been very, very successful with students. And generally speaking, whenever I involve the university museums in my classes, students systematically comment on the evaluations that they enjoyed it very much, including the papers that I have them write about their experiences or interpret one object or another. I don't want to paint a naive picture of what the art and the art world are, but art still has the possibility to open up doors and to build bridges between people, between cultures. Of course, this is not to deny that there are more problematic aspects to art. Unfortunately, there has been and still is sexist, racist, homophobic art. But alternatives, other voices, other perspectives exist as well. And for some odd reason, like I said, some pieces will speak to you. They can be from a completely different time. They can be from a completely different culture. But for some odd reason, like I said, they speak to you. And I think that's really, really important. And that helps, achieve overall ISU's goal to create these bridges and to connect communities and to make everyone feel at home on ISU campus. And also as a land-grant institution, and generally speaking as an academic institution, one of our goals is to understand the world that is around us, and art helps doing so. Again, some people mistakenly believe that it's some kind of elitist thing, but no, art is made by all and for all. I mean, sure, you can always find some artists and some people who have an elitist view of arts. That's undeniable. But in the end, like I said, it can speak and it can be for everyone.